Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
We're off.
Lovely.
And I'm Frank Skinner. I'm on Absolute Radio, and I'm with Emily and Gareth.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm
Don't
not
say
saying
that
much.
like, you're doing that thing like we've just met. Don't do that. We've been sitting around chatting for about an hour about stuff.
right.
We went through the papers. That's what people do. They get in, and they go through the papers, and they see what the hot news is, and they think we'll put that on the show, and that makes us sound like we're up to the minute, finger on the pulse. So we've been through basically every daily newspaper, and sure enough, we've come up with an advert for a Sail with the Stars
Advertisement
offer.
feature.
Yeah, which is you can go on a big ship. I don't know what the
It's called the
technical name.
Arcadia.
What
this particular
type of ship is that? What genre?
It's a big ship. I would go.
Is
big.
it a liner?
It's a cruise.
It's a cruise liner.
Oh, it's a cruise liner.
Yeah.
Okay. And you can. The entertainers are Russell Watson, as it says here, the people's tenor.
Yeah.
The self-styled people's tenor.
Is he self-styled?
Yeah.
So he's come up with that himself.
Yeah.
No, I think that's the advertisement feature. People being quite nasty about him.
You
Self-styled.
don't want to be coming up with your own nicknames. That's always. They say Paul Ince did that at Man United. He said, "Do you mind calling me the governor?" I mean, no. And Darren Brown, who I thought Darren Brown would be a bit above doing cruise work. I love Darren Brown. And he's described as TV magician. So he got the short straw when they came up with the descriptions.
Also, Frank, what I don't like is the photograph of him is rather sinister.
Well, he is rather sinister. That is the joy of Darren Brown. I think he's probably planning a whole Marie Celeste thing going on here. That cruise liner will just float into some port one completely empty, a couple of chairs on their backs, some half-finished meals on the table, and no one will know anything about it.
You know what worries me, Frank? It describes itself, the self-styled ship, describes itself as the exclusively for adults ship. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't like the sound of that.
No, exactly.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I hope Darren and Ross will know what they're letting themselves in for. That's all I have to say. Oh, my goodness. Is he going to sing as the show goes on? So how exciting was that moment? We were at the Sony Awards thing on Monday
We weren't
night.
just at them.
Let's not go into that. I don't want to blow my own trumpet.
I do.
Oh, okay. What, you want to blow my trumpet? Well, what you need is to go on this cruise. No, and the Go Compare man presented a prize. I don't know what his name is, but you don't need to, do you? He's the Go Compare man. And he sang that, only a song I bring, and he thought, no, I'm sorry, but as much as I hate the Go Compare adverts, I realise that now you're here, all I want in the world is for you to sing Go Compare. That's nothing else matters. And although I detest it as an advert, Go Compare live.
Yeah, you've got to see it live, man.
Yeah, he's like Springsteen, the Go Compare man. You don't appreciate him on the adverts, but live he rocks.
Yeah.
He would rock the boat if he was one of the Sail with the Stars things. By the way, if you want to text us about anything, we don't have tickets for the P&O adult cruise, so don't text us about it. But text us on 81215 about anything, because we just, we like to hear from people, because it can sometimes feel like it's three people just talking to each other. And that's nice.
Yeah.
But, that's how Bewitched ended up. And I don't know about you, but that's not how I'm looking to go.
And there is
I've
a lot
already
of denim in the room.
I've got a denim jacket on, I'm owning up to that. But no, I tell you, I saw them. They made a bit of, two of them made a comeback.
Did they? That's a bit pointless.
Yeah, who's the person who says, no, I'm not interested in the Bewitched? The Mike Nesmith of the troupe, who turns down the Bewitched reunion. What are they doing?
What's she doing?
Making their own butter is what I imagine, in an Irish field. What do you think? That's where you make butter, isn't it? Because if you spill it, you don't want it going on the carpet. You do it in a field.
Or the denim jeggings.
Definitely stain.
Yeah, I imagine in a denim apron. Do you get denim agricultural smocks? You get denim everything! Oh, apparently you get denim everything. I was just told.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
I got interviewed this week by... Do you know Alan Yentob?
He pops up all over the place.
Yeah, he does a big fancy arts programme called Imagine on... people who present art always have to wear long overcoats, that look. Like, they're a bit Artie and bit Samuel Beckett. He interviewed me. They're doing a programme about stand-up comedy, right? And he began by saying, we interviewed David Baddiel last week. He was absolutely brilliant.
They are looky-likeys, those two.
Yeah,
that's true.
But if I was the sort of person who said no pressure then, I would have said no pressure then. But obviously I think the sort of people who say, oh, no pressure then, are imbeciles. So I didn't say it. I put them... This can change. I've got a few phrases that drive me balmy like that, but there's one I've noticed that I'm starting to use, which I used to hate, but now has matured in my... And the other day I heard myself saying, with some glee, oh, the mind boggles. And I might start trying to bring that back. We'll see how that goes. So anyway, we did the... we were in a place in southeast London, in this sort of derelict house, so it looked arty. And... we started, and I said, hold on a minute. I said, sorry about this. I said, but I'm finding that bird song very off-putting. There was a bird singing outside. It was the most Elton John thing I've ever said in my life.
That really is, Frank. That's
I'm sorry, could you turn down that bird song?
No, but you laugh, but Elton John did do that, didn't he? Rung his manager when he was in Chicago and complained about the wind.
Yeah, exactly.
You are like Elton John.
So, did they have an air rifle, or...?
Well, no, they... in fact, the runner, that's the person who kind of makes tea and stuff. Yeah, she's done that. She went out and she said, I've tried to shoo it away. It won't go. It's on the roof. She said, I don't think we're allowed to throw at it. Is what she said. I said, no. I said, could you get a cat? But it was difficult, and he said maybe you could refer to it, and then it would be all right. It became a big issue, the bird song. I said, is it too late? What if I said I was a last-minute stand-in for Sebastian Faulks? Everyone laughed. I think 3 of them got it, and 4 of them valued their job, so they laughed anyway.
Well done, Gareth.
About the war.
Yeah, we don't explain jokes on this show. Not in the age of Google. There's no need to explain anything.
Emily was testing me.
I know,
Don't
that was
drag me into it.
That was unfair.
Sorry, Frank. Carry on.
So,
Gareth doesn't get it. It was like the Crucible.
When you're recording a show, if there's a noise, if there's an aeroplane goes over, they stop immediately, and you have to wait before you record again. Is what happens. So, things like EastEnders and that, which claim to be the most realistic programmes on television, they live in a world where aeroplanes never go over. No, aeroplanes going over is part of life, isn't it? Yeah, just think about that. So anyway, I must admit I was a bit tetchy because the night before I'd had what I can only call a showbiz dilemma.
Oh dear.
Because I've got...
It wasn't the Spice Girls turning up again.
No. Yeah, they're... yes, in case you don't know, Simon Fuller has been holed up in my flat. Apparently he owes them back pay, and I said he could shelter there until the coast was clear, but I think they've sensed it. They're outside, like, when you've got a dog on heat and they're at the door. Yeah. It's like that. Anyway, I have remote control curtains on my bedroom.
Oh, man of the people.
Well, it's my one concession to the sort of James Bond lifestyle. And I couldn't that night. I just my curtains would not close. If anyone's tuning in now, they think I've got hemorrhoids. No, my curtains wouldn't close, so I had to sleep from 4 o'clock. It was broad daylight in my bedroom, and obviously that kept me awake. So that made me tetchy.
Oh.
And also, I live opposite the Houses of Parliament, so you don't want to sleep.
Once again, man of the people.
Yeah, you can't sleep looking at the Houses of Parliament. I'm trying to get off. I kept thinking of Robin Cook's anti-Iraq speech. It made me tense. In case you want to imagine what it's like in my bedroom, what you need to do is get 2 beer mats and then steadily pull them apart in front of a bottle of brown sauce. And you'll get the feeling. Anyway, that made me tetchy. If you've got any annoying sounds, normally they're nice sounds, but they annoy you, then why not text us in about it? What about that for an idea?
I've got a whole host.
Have you? Well, we'll come back to that. I'll probably be playing one of them in a minute.
This is Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
You were asking who was the name of the guy who sung Go Compare, who we've seen live.
Actually, I wasn't asking. I said I didn't know. I wasn't asking because guess what? I don't care.
Well, then you won't want to know the answer to this.
I don't care.
Not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you the answer to
No,
this.
go on, tell me the answer. Don't get all stroppy now.
This is from 131. The Go Compare fellow is Wyn Evans, which is ironic, as Chris presented the awards and did not win anything.
That's a bit unkind, isn't it?
It's quite funny, though.
Yeah, it is quite funny, but, you know, like so many unkind things, I find that's one of the little injustices of life. Life! Oh, life!
We've had an email
There
from...
was a radio, wasn't there, called... There's a radio station called Life FM. Do you remember that?
Was there?
Yeah, and I'm sure they only called it that because they thought, we'd save some money on jingles here, we can just play Life! Oh, life! What a cop-out that was.
Peter Parker, we've got an email
Peter
from...
Parker?
Peter Parker.
Has he contacted us on the web?
Yes. He said, why didn't you get up and draw them
Gareth doesn't get
manually?
it. Gareth
I did
doesn't-
get
Gareth
it.
doesn't know.
You
I
don't
did
get
get it.
it.
Spider-Man.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm doing a lot of testing of whether I get jokes this morning.
Yeah, well,
It's
you know,
unfair.
I think it's that time we do it. This is when we
Pressure's
do it.
on. The awards are mounting up.
Why didn't you get up and draw them manually? About the curtains.
You can't do
They
that.
don't
See,
have
once you've
manual
got the
override.
engine fitted, if you try to draw them manually, you'll tear the whole mechanism to pieces. Don't you think I would have been up like a shot? But no, you can't do that. The last time they failed, not only did they not close. This is my remote control curtains, in case anyone's tuned in late.
And in case anyone thought he was still keeping it real.
Yeah, exactly. But not only did they not close, but every now and again they went.
No.
Because they were trying. Oh, God, they were trying. But it was very, very anxious sleeping in that room.
I mean, part of me, Frank, your Elton John incident, part of me thinks, oh, for goodness sake. But then there's another part of me which shares your pain. Because I'm one of the most intolerant, I'm so intolerant of noise, you wouldn't believe it.
Yeah. I think we could have took the words of noise out of that sentence. What's your room?
Would you like to hear some examples?
Oh, yeah, I would. I'd love to hear some from the listeners, but, boy, they ain't coming.
Okay, well, you'll have to make do with me.
I'm happy with you.
Life's not perfect.
They're going to be sulky.
One of my worst things, there was a woman...
What's happening? You know when the listeners are talking to me, it's like one of those things. I've said something wrong, they've gone a bit sulky, and I don't know what it is. You know when you that thing with a girlfriend, guess why I'm upset? It's like that. I've said something, they've all gone quiet on me, and now I'm thinking, God, what's happened here? Should I just keep it going and see if they come out, or should I try and get to the root of the problem? Sorry,
There was a girl I used to work with, and when she typed... I feel so embarrassed, this is so unreasonable, but her bangles would clank on the desk.
well, you can't have that.
No.
Bangles or shackles?
I dealt with it in a very passive-aggressive way, Natch. I never just said, look, that noise is annoying me. I said, oh, my God, what is that? It must be something outside. I pretended I didn't know it was her. And she used to eat her yoghurt and scrape the last remnants out of the pot.
I think that's acceptable.
No,
isn't it?
it's not acceptable. Or the man who won't tolerate birdsong.
Yeah, but birdsong, it can be very piercing, I find. Yeah, I interviewed Ozzy Osbourne once. Oh, name dropper! And when we watched it back, I said, hold on, what's that? This throughout the whole thing. And I said, what is it? There's a fault, something wrong with it. And he had loads of bangles on him because he shakes so much. It sounded like Santa was encircling the house. Oh, poor Ozzy.
I annoyed Laura the other day because...
Hey, what's new? Laura is
I know.
Gareth's wife.
Yeah, my wife.
Yeah.
For new people.
Because we kissed.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. That would annoy anyone. She's told you about that, has she not?
No, and then my nose was making a whistling sound. You know, when there's just the perfect.
How long did you kiss?
Well, it was a slightly longer kiss. It was a
Frank,
longer
I don't like
kiss.
it.
I
was a
think
kiss
you
for long-
two need to rethink what marriage is all about. It's at best a peck on the cheek. I mean, nose whistling. This is a man who was going down for the third... Oh, no, I didn't mean it. Anyway.
Frank on radio. Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
Frank, we've had some texts in about annoying noises.
Yes?
We've had one in... well, they never give their name anymore. Gareth started this whole numbers thing, and that's it. They're sticking to it now. This is 213. I think I'm still single because I can't stand the sound of someone else breathing in the same bed.
Oh, God. Well, you've got to be single or you've got to become a murderer. That's the choice. Although Germaine Greer used to say that although she had an active love life, that she never slept in the same bed as anyone else. She couldn't stand to do that. So she'd rather go away and sleep on the floor somewhere than share a bed. So how's about that then?
Unexpected Jimmy Savile impression.
I haven't quite got the...
437, foxes shrieking when I'm trying to sleep. I absolutely hate it.
I don't think they just... I think
It's best to let them out in that case.
Yeah.
I think they're up to no good.
What, foxes?
They're having sexy time.
Oh,
That's
no.
what I don't like.
Are they? Is that what it is?
Yes.
What, shrieking?
Yes. That's
They
how the
sound like-
women, female foxes respond in that way. Let's not go down that road.
No,
Really?
it's not. Oh, dear. I'll never watch Foxy Bingo again. They sound like children. They're like, you get that from the foxes. Back me up on this, or is the children outside my house that I'm ignoring? Oh, no.
Sue says rain on a flat roof is annoying as it reminds me of being in a caravan on holiday in Maplethorpe.
Yes.
There you go.
It reminds me of being in a caravan on holiday with Robert Mapplethorpe, the famous erotic photographer.
That was some weekend you had.
Oh, dear. I still have nightmares. Well, at least they're speaking to us again now. That's lovely.
Yeah, they are.
Because without our listeners, what would life be? I mean, life.
So, did you see in the paper this week, Tiny Temper has arranged for his mum to meet one of her heroes?
Sweet.
Yeah, it's nice. He looks after his
No,
mum.
not the sweet.
Oh, okay. Who is his mum, sir?
His mum's hero was Dolly Parton,
Oh, right.
and it was nice. But it says that his mum met up with her and then arranged for Tiny and Dolly to have a meeting to talk about collaborating.
Ah, so really, it was business, and
Well-
he says you can come if you like.
Well, I'm not sure. I think it's one of those embarrassing mum things. Now Tiny's got to meet up with Dolly Parton to arrange a collaboration. I don't think...
Also, Gareth, I like Tiny and Dolly. Sounds like my little toy collection when I was a kid. I love it.
It does, doesn't it?
Dolly.
I've always been worried about how they do those collaborations. You know, when you see, like, doubles things at Wimbledon. I mean, imagine, say if I was in Wimbledon, I'd just scraped in and I'd go up to Andy Murray and say, would you fancy being in the doubles? And he goes, no. How terrible would that be? How do they negotiate that? Well, that would
we'll
make me
step
anxious.
in if you want to. We could sort it out.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
I
but
did it. I went up to Victoria, Derbyshire the other night and I said, why don't we do a sort of laughs and seriousness type radio show?
What did she say?
She didn't say anything. She just looked past me.
She didn't play dead, did she? I hate it when people do that. Just go limp.
I wouldn't say she played dead. She played, catatonic, certainly. When we share management, I mean, she could have at least acknowledged
do,
me. We
yeah.
do, we share management. I'm not ashamed of that. Oh, no, not... needles, that's what I meant, not management.
Frank on radio. Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
We've had a lovely text in from...
Well, let's read it out and then we'll decide as a
Okay.
group whether it's lovely or not. I mean, this is a democracy.
Exactly.
Dear Frank, Emily and Gareth, love the show. I listen to the podcast while strimming graves from Tom the Gardener, Cheltenham.
I like that. I like a well-kept grave.
I like a grave strimmer.
And I like that we're an accompaniment to mortality. That's what I've really... I think that was in my citation for the Sony. It said a grand accompaniment to mortality, was what it said.
Oh, I just had a feeling like someone was strimming my grave.
Ooh, ticklish.
Me too. My lovely sister's toes click when she dangles her shoes on the end of her toes. It's horrible.
So you said my lovely sister,
Yeah, I know.
thinking I'm now going to soften up for some criticism. I like the sound of a clicking toe on a young
Do you?
girl. Yeah, I think that to me is
Aw.
a symbol of life. Don't you think?
Don't know, breathing, but people don't like that either as a symbol for life.
No, but I like the fact that all our annoying noises have all been about life, breathing,
Yeah.
Bangles.
graves. How fabulous that it's brought out the very extremes of existence.
Well, Frank, we've had another text in from 131 saying, if the previously mentioned rapper was annoyed by a noise, would he have a tiny temper tantrum? Which I rather like.
No, I think he's quite a mild-mannered man. That's my view. Yeah. Oh, yeah, what happened to Tiny Temper?
Oh, well, so he arranged for his mum to see
So
Dolly Parton.
is he doing a collaboration with Dolly Parton?
I think he's in an awkward situation now where his mum's arranged
Yes.
a meeting and
The mum wants it to happen.
Yeah.
You don't want to get
Pushy
your mum
mother.
involved in business.
Going to have to write
So
some
I've heard.
rap about 9 till 5 where Dolly's doing the chorus and he's
Oh,
going to
no.
oh, I don't have a 9 till 5 job.
Yeah.
Don't know.
No,
And there's the first
that
lyric
was-
for you, Tiny.
That people will tune in and think they've got Tiny Temper in there.
Hey, I don't have a 9 to 5 job.
Jolene, you treat me bad, don't like it. Why don't you give me some love? Oh no, it'll be absolutely unbearable.
They should do a whole album.
Yeah, well they probably will if their mum likes the first track. she calls the shot. I like the fact that he's took his got his mum to.
Yeah, that's good.
I do.
It got me thinking about like the strange people your parents like consider like good celebrities.
Yeah.
I was at
Since
Edinburgh
you've got that
Festival.
Sony, you've got so arrogant. Good celebrities.
As opposed to
Rubbish celebrities.
Okay.
No, not rubbish. Just people who, So I was at Edinburgh Festival one year in a bar, and I phoned my dad, and it happened that I saw Jim Bowen in the bar, so I mentioned it to my dad, and he said, "Oh, you've got to go and talk to Jim Bowen."
Why?
No, I don't think I should. What would I say to Jim Bowen?
So stay out the black and keep in the red. There's no room in this game for two in a bed. Is what you'd say.
one.
He should do that.
Was he-
Red or
If
Black
music
show.
be the food of life, tuck into this radio cassette player.
Category 3 places. Don't have geography. People don't understand what that is. Places.
He's could have said all those things. Lovely, smashing. What did he used to say?
Super smashing great, lovely.
Yeah.
Super-
Did you approach Jim Bowen?
No, I didn't. What did I say? My dad said I should talk to you. He was wrong.
You could
Frank,
say what people always say. I really love you. I always watch your shows. What
Frank.
show?
Frank, it sounds like Gareth Davis being a bit of a bully.
Oh, well, Sunday wouldn't be Sunday. Was it a Sunday?
No, I may have been.
Yeah, it was.
Well, if it was a
I'd say it was.
Sunday, you had your opening line right there.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I can understand that.
I do get that bully joke, by the way. It's because of the, Anyway.
Good.
I must admit, I saw
Expensive
one of my dad's heroes, and I didn't approach him. But you can't just walk into Spandau Prison. You need proper. You need the paperwork. It's as simple as that. But I'm quite fascinated by the parental heroes. I think we should continue this theme.
We only have this excellent. This is Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
What are we talking about?
Oh, we were talking about celebrities that our parents like.
Ah, yes.
And we were somewhere in Spandau.
Yeah, well, let's move on from that.
My dad loved Larry Hagman.
Did he?
Oh, yeah. He'd got very serious about him. He wouldn't just laugh at him. He'd say, he's tremendously talented. Very, very clever performance, this.
It's just funny because he isn't, is he?
No. And you couldn't talk through Dallas at all. He's very serious about it. And my mother, she used to like Denham Elliott. That was her favourite, yeah.
I went out with a girl.
Denham Elliott?
No, I went out with a girl who was obsessed with Denham Elliott.
How old was she?
No, she wasn't. She was like, I don't know. It was one. She had. There's two people who she really, really fancied, and that was Denham Elliott and Christopher Lee.
Oh.
And she was a woman who stole my my fingernail clippings from the ashtray and said that she would use them in a spell that would make me love her forever.
Wow. How did that go?
Well, I can't feel any lasting affection. In fact, I feel what I would describe as mild contempt. I think she must have got the spell wrong. But yeah, she loved Denham Elliott.
Did she? But Frank, who did your parents like?
My dad liked Richard Tauber, the German tenor. Do you remember him? He used to wear a monocle.
Because I was going to say, your parents
You
didn't
don't get
have
sing-
telly either, did they?
You don't get singers with monocles anymore, do you?
No.
Whatever happened to that? I feel Gabrielle missed out.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
Frank, we've had a text in. You know, you were talking about some extraordinary woman who fancied both Denham Elliott and Christopher Lee.
Yes, an ex-girlfriend of mine.
Ex-paramour of yours. We've had a text in from 131. Did this lady have a jeans fetish? Denham Elliott and Christopher Lee.
Hey?
Yeah, pretty good.
That's very... She left me for Levi Stubbs from the Four Tops.
And Johann Strauss, I believe. Big fan
And
of his.
Arsene Wrangler. Oh, no, sorry, it doesn't work. Can we do that again? What, live, you say? God.
Now, what's been going on with your leg, Frank?
Well, I wasn't here last week. Some people will have noticed, some won't.
Yes.
Some will have
We've
think,
had inquiries about your holiday from
Right.
the lovely listeners.
Have we? Of what nature?
Where was Frank on holiday?
Why am I on holiday?
Where were you?
Oh, where was I? I was on the Dales. Do you know that local family? Very accommodating.
The Wintons?
And I was uphill and down Dale. It's Katie Hill. She was with me as well. Did I mention her? Too big a face, I said. But 3 days in, I said, I've worked it out now. Too big a face, Katie. Off she went.
Big swimmer shoulders, that one.
Yeah, in a huff. And
So-
or was it with a huff? Anyway,
Back on the Dales.
and I was on the Dales, and I did a.
Now, with Kath, this was,
Yes,
wasn't
my
it?
girlfriend,
Yeah.
Kath, and I was on a walking holiday, and basically my knee went.
Oh,
So I had to
Frank.
come back for 3 days early. It was heartbreaking, beautiful weather. And I got back and I phoned Emily. Well, I texted you, didn't I? And said, guess what? My knee's gone. I've had to come back early from my walking holiday. And then I texted my manager and said, it's terrible news. I'm on a train back 3 days early because my knee's gone. So I'm waiting for well, why don't you come and do this show? Never comes, that call. Never comes. I'm sitting thinking, in the end, I had to text my manager, do you think maybe I should do the show? Or would that be a bit unfair on my standing thing?
Frank.
And he said, it's a bit late now. I was desperate to do the show. I was desperate.
Frank.
So I wasn't called. So, anyway, that's beside the point, but I just needed to get it out of my...
I understand.
So I'm hobbling a bit. I'm a bit Tina Hobbly. And I'm thinking maybe a stick.
Oh.
Now, I always seek the opportunity for a walking stick, because though I say so myself, I look quite good with a walking stick. I think I was made for one.
What sort of... Are we talking gnarled driftwood, though, or are we talking silver dress cane?
We're talking Niles Barkley. Doing a cover of Driftwood, what do they call that Scottish band? Travis. Yes. Oh God. Anyway, yeah. I'm one of the wooden with the bend. Well, I thought
I know, the
maybe a
bends.
sword stick. I thought, you can. That would be handy. You know,
Are you
broken
doing sort of accessorising with medical implements? I know the attraction. When I first
Know the
realised
attraction?
No, when I first realised I needed glasses, I was absolutely chuffed as like
Were
a
you
10-year-old boy. I thought, brilliant. Like, 'cause it's something new.
Yeah.
Is this what you're getting with the walking stick thing?
Well, yeah. But I want it to look romantic. You know, I want it to look like an injured war hero. I don't want. I don't like those that clasp you on the forearm, because then you look like a benefits cheat. I don't believe anyone who's got... You see people walking with them and you think, hold on, are you using that for support, or are you just taking it for a walk? There are people who don't quite get their forearms in. They just kind of drag it along.
I don't like the collapsible ones either. Very low rent. Don't go for
What, the
those.
collapsible benefit cheats?
No one can accuse you of being a benefits cheat. You were desperate to get back into work and they wouldn't let you.
No, exactly. I am available for work, I told everyone, and it was no good. But I had to go and see a knee specialist on Thursday.
Frank, I'm sorry to interrupt, but 131 says, Frank, was it all a bit Wuthering Heights roaming around Yorkshire with Kathy? Oh, I like that
It
literary
was.
reference.
It was lovely.
So
It's
back to
funny
your
enough,
knee.
we did
And
talk
she likes
about...
Kate Bush.
We did talk... Yeah, she's madly into Kate
Oh,
Bush.
she loves her.
And we talked about... And we decided that we're going to read Wuthering Heights to each other when we got back.
Lovely.
What about that? Unfortunately, we had a massive row. We didn't even talk to each other. But that is another long and terrible story, which involves me getting so angry that I closed her account on our computer and then was unable to put it back on again.
Oh, Frank.
I know it's not good. Anyway, I don't feel good about it.
No. I don't know what to say to you.
No, but she said to me, "Can you just put it back on long enough for me to look for other flats I can move to?"
Oh.
You're not coming out of this terribly well.
No, but I wasn't able to put it back on. I don't know how to do that. I'm going to have to ask my personal assistant, who's not in till Tuesday. So we have a hiatus. As it is, she's gone away for the weekend. Can you watch the Eurovision Song Contest on your own without feeling like the saddest person on the planet? I don't think it's possible.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
I'm still reeling a bit, I have to say, from this closing the account incident.
Well, I'll give you some. Let me give you a little extra on this.
So you had this is as a result of a row with Kath.
No, I'm very happy. I mean, you or indeed our beloved listeners might feel I was in the wrong about this. I'm happy to lay myself open to the jury. But I got in from work. I'm calling it work, and I went into the office. I've got an office, with a computer. I don't use the computer that much. It's really, Kath uses it much more than I do. If you receive my meaning. So there was a cop on the desk, right?
Already,
on the desk,
I know you're wrong.
On the wood of the desk, there was a cop, and there was a coaster, I would say, 6 inches away, unused, right? Now, I lifted the cop. There was clearly some damage had been. No, not residue. I mean, permanent damage.
Actual stain.
Yeah. Well, you put a hot cup on it. It's one of my things, you've got to have a coaster.
Can I just say it really is one of your things?
It is one of my things.
You're obsessed about coasters.
So I had to dash out, so I didn't have time to make phone calls, so I wrote a couple of yellow stickies.
Same.
Which I stuck on the screen of the computer, saying that I was outraged at this, and then a second one saying if it happens again, I'll close your account on the computer and you won't be able to accept or receive email. I thought that was fair. Everyone deserves a second chance.
Right.
So I went out, and I went out, as a normal Wednesday night out. I was watching Melvin Bragg give a lecture about the King James Version of the Bible at Hampton Court Palace. I got back, and I was feeling, on the way home, that there was a tightening in my stomach, I'll be straight with you. I thought, I'm starting to think, maybe the yellow stickies weren't the best idea. So, Kath was watching a documentary about the police arresting people in Soho. And she said, I said, "You're right." She said, wait, I'm watching this at the moment. And I thought, this is not good.
Well, you had been to a Bible lecture, so you were all wanting to forgive and forget, but she'd been watching the police, so she's after retribution.
I was thinking more an eye for an eye.
Were you? Okay.
So, anyway, she said, I will not have that. I will not have you putting notes threatening me with, if you do this, I'll turn. She said, I'd rather you just close the account now. I said, OK, consider it closed.
Oh,
so I stormed off into the office, sat at the computer, and thought, I don't know how to do this. I'll actually have to look at Microsoft Help. So I got Microsoft Help.
Did the little paperclip pop up saying, so you've had an argument?
Yeah, exactly.
Would you like to?
I typed in destroy your relationship, and it came up, and I managed to close.
Did my name come up when you done that?
And I closed the account. I did it.
Frank, that is the most it's actually not the most... No, but that is really childish, Frank.
Is it childish?
Yes, it is.
But she said
quite a complex procedure.
But she said to me, close the account then, close it now. I was told to do that.
You know you were wrong. I think you should apologise now.
Look, it's like let him have it. It's like let him have it. She said to me, close the account, so I closed the account, that was it. Anyway...
Well, the listeners haven't ploughed in yet with opinions.
No, but they will do.
No, but some of you may know that currently my girlfriend's sister is staying with us.
Oh, she's still there.
And the next morning, she, who had no idea of this argument, got up to buy her... you may know Tori Amos has just announced tour date. She's mad about Tori Amos.
Oh, she loves
She got up to get the tickets while there was still some left. And she couldn't get onto the computer.
Account closed.
So she didn't get... So she's not going to be able to see Tori Amos.
Do you now see the repercussions of your actions?
Yeah, but you can't. That to me, that Kat said to me, you won't be interested, but, poor Rachel now won't be able to see Tori Amos because I said, well, no, that's not my fault, that's your fault, because you said close down my account. So, that's what happened, and I'm very happy to hear people's opinions, and if I was wrong, I feel bad about it. Let me make it clear, I love this woman, but I will not be dictated to. And
I've got my own views on this.
A hot cop on a wooden cert.
No, I know, but Frank, you are really obsessive about that coaster thing. It's something in your childhood. It's like the UHT milk. It was something related to that, I think.
If I'd have got in and she'd have been in bed with a man from the Mediterranean, I couldn't have been any more upset than I was by a naked cop on a wooden top.
This is Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
Sorry, Frank, I'm distracted because of the sheer amount of emails we've got coming in response to your All I'll say is subject line is closed account, re-closing email account.
Okay.
Some are on your side, some slightly less so. Sue in Croydon, harsh response, but if it stamps out the heinous crime of not using coasters, then it's hopefully a lesson learned. Go Frank.
See, that's it. It was more of a crusade than a personal thing. You know, I was fighting for furniture.
Well, Amanda says, oh dear, Frank, did you spit the dummy? I suggest you go home with flowers. Oh, Cath's going to love that.
Yeah, I don't like her being called a dummy, though.
And
she also missed the word at, I think, out of that sentence.
And 131 says, the mug mark on the wooden table would only have been your fault, Frank, if you had previously said to Kath, give me a ring later.
Well, I see now people have started to elaborate on a theme. I grew up on Captain Scarlet, though. I associate that circular mark with the Mysterons. It's very harrowing for me.
Oh, I don't like the sound of this one. You gave her a written and verbal warning.
That is true. That is absolutely true, actually. I forgot it was basically the sticky. It's not so much a yellow sticky as a yellow card. That was. And then there was a second offence, which was the demand that I switch it off. You better read some that are on Cat's side, or she'll never come. I should say she's now gone away for the weekend and left me on my own with the Eurovision Song Contest, which we normally always watch together.
Yeah. Well, no, to be fair, I'm on her side, clearly, and Nick in Detroit says, I like nice wood too, but closing her account... So there you go.
Question mark, ... exclamation mark, semicolon.
So you're going to watch Eurovision on your own then, Frank?
No one could do that. It reminds me, I was
okay then.
The last time I was single, I was in on my own on a Saturday night feeling pretty bleak, and I thought, I'll tidy.
Yeah.
And I found one party popper that had been left over from Christmas, and I thought, well, it's a shame to throw it away without popping it. So I sat in a flat on my own, single, and pulled a party popper in April.
Wow.
And I've never felt so bleak. I have to say, the smell of the gunpowder put terrible ideas in my mind. So no, I won't be doing that.
No, I think the lone sound of one party popper going off makes the Samaritans ring you.
Yeah. It's like the bat signal. The Samaritans hear that and they're struck. Yeah, they never ring me. Would they reverse charges if they rang you, the Samaritan?
I don't know.
That's this week's phone-in. With the Samaritan.
You may not be watching, but others will be.
I watch it every.
But it's blue this year as well.
Oh,
yes.
Really? What, are they no costumes?
Is it on Darren Brown's adult cruise? Darren Brown's adult cruise is something I would like to go on, just with a camera one night.
Exclusively for adults, I think you'll find it's called.
Well, it's not what it used to be.
Eurovision?
Well, I've always been a big fan of Eurovision, but I tell you, they've made a very big mistake with this. They've started removing the chaff midweek. You know, they have a kind of a semi-final.
Beg your pardon?
They have a sort of... You know the chaff and the wheat?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, well, the chaff are obviously the worst acts, and a lot of those don't get through. There's a competition on the Wednesday night or whatever.
Yes, I know what you mean.
And of course it's the terrible acts that make the show so wonderful. So I don't want any kind of editing process to be done on Eurovision. So what we get is the best of Eurovision, whereas we want the worst.
Well, I know you mean, but you see, they're taking it very seriously, Blue, because Anthony says if they don't win, he says we're emigrating.
I think that was the deal. Yeah, that's why they got so many votes, apparently. Also, Dana International didn't get through the winnowing process on Wednesday.
Oh,
Dana
really?
International, a previous winner.
Oh, because you're a fan of her work.
Well, I'm an admirer of her because she was supposed to be on my chat show once and she cancelled at the last minute, and her agent phoned up and said, Dana can't do the show, she's got diarrhoea. And I thought, how marvellous that anyone would be so honest. I was starting to think Dana could be an abbreviation. But who else would have been so honest as to say that? And, you know, that people would have come up with some trumped-up excuse. And I really respected that. Anyone who'll come clean with diarrhoea, as it were, is my kind of person.
Frank on radio. Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
Frank, Amanda has texted in and said, Dear team, she's obviously looking at the webcam, I can't make out what Emily's got on her T-shirt. Is it a dog or a horse? Frank has got a man in a bath on his. Poor Gareth hasn't anything.
I don't have a man on a bath. Mine is Sisyphus. You know, from Greek legend, who had to he had to push a large boulder up a hill,
Right.
and then watch it roll down again, and then push it back up.
I thought it was a road sign.
This was a gift from the production team on a TV show I did recently called Frank Skinner's Opinionated.
Oh, that's nice.
And I used to say to them, every week on this show, I feel like I'm pushing an enormous boulder up a hill, and then it rolls down, I have to do it again the next week. And they embraced this abuse and bought me a T-shirt with symbolising exactly that.
I like that it's a slight grudge present. I love a grudge gift.
Yeah.
I like a grudge gift if there's a Greek mythology element to it.
Yes.
Otherwise, I find them offensive.
Sorry, FYI, it's a horse. Frank, mine is.
Oh, yours is a horse.
Mine is a
okay.
horse.
And I've got a T-shirt under my shirt which has got a tree on it.
Don't unbutton it.
Okay.
Well, no need. It's only 4 people watch on the webcam. One of them is my mother-in-law, Sandy Mason. She'll be watching now. She's got the headset, she's got the goggles, she's got the lot. She sits in an enormous chair. You remember those Maxell tape adverts with Pete Murphy? She sits in like an enormous electric chair, just not an electric chair, obviously. That's some sort of terrible Freudian slip I seem to have. Oh, goodness me.
Frank,
Anyway, yes.
We've had an email in during the week. Sometimes they email in the week, Frank. This is from Will Sutton. Subject is hair loss and weddings. Well, that I settled right down in my chair when I saw that subject
Hair
line.
loss and weddings and
Dear Frank,
wonderful. Yes.
having faithfully listened to every episode of your show since you started, I was the Robert Mugabe's Filtrum emailer.
Oh, it's that guy.
Yes. I wanted to let you know I've taken your advice from 2 weeks ago. As a 30-year-old man, my hair is beginning to recede, and your comments re Prince William's hair struck a chord.
Yeah, all I said was, well, first of all, I said that him being a bit bald when he was in the sports car, leaving with Kate Middleton, spoilt the wedding a bit for me. But then I did say spoilt was too strong a word. It took about 3% off my enjoyment. Had he had a full head of hair, it would have been a perfect day.
As a result, I'm getting married quick smart on the afternoon of your Saturday show. So that's today. And we'll be wearing a top hat, which I will cling to for dear life. Perhaps you could...
Now, hold on, top hat. Has he anglicised the word toupee? He's going to wear a special wedding toupee. That's a great idea. They should hire. You should be able to hire those with the frock coat.
Yeah? Good idea.
Everyone should, in the picture, should have a full head of hair just for the wedding. If people can lose weight for the wedding, why not gain hair?
Yeah. It's a very simple procedure now. Could you perhaps wish me and my beautiful bride to be Victoria and my recede disguising coiffeur good luck? Oh, good luck, Will and Victoria.
Yeah, good luck, Will, and especially to Victoria, because eventually that hat's going to come off. Off? Oh, I've said half. Yeah, he's doing the right thing. I don't know if you've ever experienced uncooked rice against a high forehead. It's quite painful. So he needs all the protection. No, congratulations to you two, and I hope it's a long and very happy marriage that doesn't involve any closure of email accounts.
So I've got some news. Well, you know, I've got a new child on the way. Another one.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
mentioned
Sorry,
it. You knew that.
I forgot.
Mentioned it.
I forgot.
Well, we had the 20-week scan last week, so we know
the 20-week scan.
we know the sex.
Isn't that a Susie Quattro song?
What, we know the sex?
20-week scan. 20-week scan. Is a small man at 20. Do you know the sex now?
Yes.
Well, I do as well, because you broke...
You know the sex.
Yeah, well, yes, I know the sex. He broke the news to me in an incredibly unsentimental way. He said, yeah, anyway, it's a boy. Can you pass the olive oil? So he said
Horrible
It's a boy.
combination. That's a
We've got to
quote
get it
from,
out of there somehow.
I think that's a quote from Darren Brown's Adult Cruise.
Right, can I just say my hairdresser has actually sent me a text saying, I agree the baldness spoilt it for me too.
Oh, well, there you go.
There you go.
But part of the deal with Will's baldness is that he was so good looking at one point when he
Yes.
was younger. So this Will might never have been good
When he
looking. so it
wasn't
might not-
bald, is what
yeah.
I'm saying.
But this Will may have never been that good looking.
Of course,
so it may
they're
not
both
be.
Wills. That
Yeah.
never struck me. Oh.
So, the sex
Brilliant.
of your child?
Yeah, sex of our child. And there was a
Look,
bit
have
of...
we got time to go into this? I'm so
Frank?
excited. Well, we're nearing the end of the show. I don't think
Okay.
we've got time. We can do it. I'll tell you what we can tell it. You can tell us about it on Not the Weekend podcast, which is downloadable from Wednesday morning, which is completely new material that we do.
Brilliant, yes.
Yeah. How about that for a segue? So those of you who are watching the Eurovision Song Contest, if I was watching, I think I'd be back in Jedwood.
They weren't allowed to have tigers on stage.
I heard that.
They were banned.
They should have let Jedwood have tigers on stage.
It's just because Jedwood is so delicious.
They should have. Surely the last thing that Jedwood needs is a hair-raising experience.
We only have this extra. This is Frank Skinner.
Absolute
Radio.